Tag Show. With Jenna and Blue. Damn. Now, here's your host, Jenna and Blue Magic.
What's going on? It is episode 37, the Mixed Tag Show with
Jenna
and
Blue.
Hiya.
Hiya? What's cracking, my guy?
How you been?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Had a good weekend?
I did, actually. I did have a fantastic weekend, now that I think about it. Shout out to the Jobbers Tier podcast for inviting your girl yet again to the Big Four. Shout out to Janelle, Tatiana, and Haven.
Yeah.
The Big Four.
Big Four.
4 horsewomen of podcasts. So we had a cute little time.
You look like you guys had some fun out there.
Yeah, every time I hang out with them, it's always laughs, jokes, and spaghetti. Youngins don't know about that, Dave Chappelle.
I didn't watch Dave Chappelle like that.
You didn't watch Dave? What?
I didn't watch him like that.
Can you see the blue shirt too?
Yeah, why you have to point it out?
Just if I want to go Hulk on people. Ah!
Alrighty then.
Okay.
Well, my weekend was pretty well. Thanks for asking.
I didn't really ask you.
I know. Thanks for asking.
No
Spent some time with my son. As
How's
always, the fun times.
How was Little Blue?
Baby Blue, he's pretty well.
Yeah.
Very smart, you know. Have fun this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Usual. Daddy stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mad dumb going to LA without him. He's like, Daddy, I want to go.
Nah, I'm a little mad at myself too.
Can I go next time? I'm like, we'll figure it out.
I'm a little mad at myself. But hey, you know, you're unloyal, so.
Hold on real quick. Can you turn our mics up a little bit? Thank you. But yeah.
Okay.
Why you mad? Tell me why you mad, son.
Because you're going to LA without me, son. What's up?
That was you. I told you months ago I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, whatever.
Anywho, nice shirt.
Yeah. Nice shirt.
I see you representing Raw.
Well, originally I wasn't representing Raw, but you wanted to do the whole
Raw SmackDown.
Right. So, if anyone is watching, I have blue under here. So
She's
I was
perping.
I am not
perpetrating.
Don't say that.
She's supposed to be Team Raw, and all of a sudden she want to wear SmackDown.
I'm not supposed to be anything. I decided the team that I wanted to go with. So
you guys remember when this podcast started? I'm Team Raw.
Nope.
That's what my favorite wrestler is.
Nope.
So that's what my team is.
Nope. I said I said this on Twitter, and I also said that on here. Yet again, Blue is always lying about what someone said. So I'm going to clarify. I said I'm going to stick with Raw just because of my favorite superstar. However, I really, really like SmackDown's roster.
That's fine. You can like us. Don't mean you are one of us.
You're not part of WWE, so stop claiming it.
I'm SmackDown. I'm Team SmackDown.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
By the way, if you want one of these cool shirts, Raw shirt, SmackDown shirt, for this upcoming weekend, thanks to you.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. But also,
you got it off of the WWE shop.
Good job.
Which is I was leading to until you cut me off.
So
if you want one of these shirts,
I always like the credit that you don't give me. So.
I always give you credit. If you want one of these shirts, holla at us in our bio. Click on the link tree, or you can click on the
bio?
link, the bio on our Instagram and Twitter.
Which
at the Mixed Tag Show.
You're not quick with these things. I just don't.
Or maybe I left them for you and then you don't pick it up. So I have to continue.
Nope, because I said it for you to say.
But I said it first for you to say. So how you gonna say it for me to say when I said it for you to say?
Alrighty, let's not start this.
Anyway, click on the link.
Last week, I don't want to have to sun you again. A lot of people were hitting me like, "Yo, Blue," like.
Nah, some people was hitting me like, "Yo, Blue."
No, they weren't. I know they were not.
Had points though.
No one hit you up and said that.
Bruh,
Everyone, show me.
I don't.
Show
they
me.
called me. Why am I?
They called you.
Phil, G.
Lying. You were lying.
Sean.
You were lying. No.
Nah, these is people. No, you didn't bring it. I can't remind you of everything.
No.
We discussed this. Okay, Sean didn't agree with me, but everybody.
You lied.
No, I was just messing. But Sean didn't agree with me. But everybody else.
Everyone else. What? 2 people?
They understood where I was coming from.
2 people?
Nah,
yeah,
few
everyone.
people. People like go on Facebook. A lot of people like Brock. They agree with me.
Yeah, they did. Sure. They
Anyway,
did.
WWE shop link in the description.
You know in Spanish what we say, like supposedly, dique.
All right. So let's jump into this draft.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
You did. All right. I was trying to get the points together, but I guess I'm going to have to just, what is it? Free?
Style?
Yeah. So, again, well, we have a new leader this week in regards to the week, right? Petty Club Worldwide scored
that.
Scored a total of 244 points. Next up, we had Knight Riders at 187 points, right? Then after that, we had New Generation X with 116 points. Right? Then everything just tailed off at the end. So I got to scroll down a little bit. Let's see. We have, next up, TK Crew with 76 points. Right?
Listening.
No, I'm trying to find it.
I know, I got you. I'm covering.
Then we have Rich Fam came up with 59 points. Then we have Evolution, I believe, is up next. Yes, Evolution is up next with a total of 50 points. And then last but not least, we have Undisputed Nation of Domination at 23 points. So still in the lead is Petty Club Worldwide with, you crying?
No.
In the lead still is Petty Club Worldwide with 2,367.5 points. Then we have, let's see. Is it TK Crew or is it Knight Riders? You need the drum roll like.
I'll move my things around. I can't remember.
I know, it's okay. Yes, Knight Riders is up next with 2,140 points.
This is not rigged.
Well, at least he moved up, right? 2,140 points. TK Crew is next up with 2,084 points. And then we have, let's see, who's this? It's Undisputed. New Generation X, 1,686 points. Evolution with 1,183.5 points. Then we have Undisputed with, actually, no, wait a second. Yes, Undisputed, 1,054.5 points. And still last, Rich Fam Kev with 1,020.5 points. That's why I said, crazy thing is, he could take over the next spot.
I mean, can't he change one of his because he has Triple H who's injured out?
Yeah, apparently he's not really paying attention. Some of his fellow managers was like, listen, you can change a couple of people. He has legitimately.
You still have Roman?
No, he didn't have Roman.
Well, people who have Roman should switch that up, no?
Well, if they already switch their players out before, they can't. So Rich Fam Kev can actually switch out either KO or Triple H. Oh, yeah.
If I was him, and if you're listening, you can take this advice. I would drop Triple H and pick up Daniel Bryan.
I believe two people have Daniel Bryan.
Oh, AJ Styles too, probably.
Well, no. The only person that has AJ Styles is Joey.
See?
Petty Club Worldwide.
See? AJ Styles still on the table.
Crazy. AJ Styles is still on the table. I'm pretty sure there's other people.
Like, nobody picked up Pete Dunne. Nobody picked up so many people.
Yeah,
that's just floating around.
Yeah, and I realized with the women, too, everyone wanted to pick the same people.
Right.
But it's all good. It's all good. But, yeah, that's our fantasy draft this week. Yeah.
So, let's jump into predictions.
Okay.
NXT War Games is this Saturday.
Are you excited? I know you're going to go.
I'm so excited. I can't
wait. Are you going to rep
wait.
in your Undisputed
Of
hoodie?
course. You know Undisputed is in the building.
This man is going to win.
It's official now because Roger Strong liked it. Got the stamp. So you can't say we're not Undisputed no more.
He just liked it. He just like fans.
That's the stamp.
That's
the stamp.
He just like fans pictures.
That's the stamp.
Anyway. And Roger Strong was essentially...
Never mind. He's still part of it, and that's a stamp.
Yeah, okay.
That's a stamp.
Delusional. Hashtag delusional blue. Remember that? Hashtag delusional blue?
No.
Shout out to TKO because he agrees with that hashtag. Nope, not hater. It's just facts. Anyway, start it off.
Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. Who you got?
I have Johnny. No.
I gotta play with something.
No. Well, Johnny Gargano.
It's not bothering you.
It is bothering me. That's why I have it there.
No, no. I was playing for like 5
Johnny
minutes.
Gargano, just because I feel like Aleister Black is getting called up soon, so I think Johnny is going to get the win. Plus he's been had a losing streak, not a losing streak, but well, actually, yeah, he lost twice, right, against
he cost himself matches, yes.
Ciampa. So it's time for him to redeem himself, and what better way than to beat Aleister and send Aleister off to SmackDown?
I agree. I don't think they're probably gonna do a call up because they need it right now. So
especially with faces, they are lacking faces on SmackDown
all over the place. So I'll say Aleister Black. NXT Women's Title match, 2 out of 3 falls. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane.
I'm stumped about this, TBH. I don't know what I said on the Jobbers Tears podcast, to be honest with you.
Oh, the actual word.
TBH. I don't know, because I feel like Shayna Baszler was someone that was destined to get called up, right? Just because, again, if we keep teasing 4 horsewomen versus the other 4 horsewomen, don't you need them on the main roster?
Right.
So, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Kairi actually winning.
Maybe you don't, only because there's 2 different brands, so maybe you could attach that 3rd brand in, kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
But okay, who are you gonna pick?
I was gonna pick Kairi Sane as well.
Can you stop copying me?
No, it's logical sense. Everybody knows that.
Why
are
do
you
you
keeping
say
notes
that?
of the winners?
Yep.
Okay.
Because again,
when we figure out Patreon, when I figure out Patreon,
yes,
this is all of mine, baby.
Good job.
By the way, if you want to help us out with Patreon, go ahead and click in the link in the bio and description or description below at the Mixed Tag Show or on our personal at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEs, or at Blue Magic Grind, spelled high sound. And this was brought to you by Blue Magic, because this is my baby.
Good job, buddy.
I deserve an applause for that one. On the spot commercial. If you need any readings, holla at me.
At us, actually, because it's a team thing. But go ahead.
I'm gonna bring you.
Whatever. Go ahead. Continue. Next up, we have for the NXT Men's Title, Tommaso Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream.
I'm gonna pull the trigger and say Velveteen Dream.
I'm gonna say Velveteen Dream as
Stop
well.
copying
Nope,
me.
I already said this on their podcast, so I'm gonna. What?
I said I didn't hear that part.
So you didn't listen to it? You didn't support me?
I did. What are you talking about? I was in the comments, like, bigging you up, commenting, responding. They was like, oh, he's actually listening today. And I had my son with me. And I was cooking dinner while I was doing it. So, yeah.
I'm going to go with Velveteen Dream as well, just because he's hot. It's his time to shine. And I don't like Ciampa's
run?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, just because he's not on the TV week to have matches and stuff.
Which is crazy.
He shows up to promo, but he's not having matches. I say Velveteen Dream only because he's been losing all the big ones.
Okay.
When was the last time he really won one of the big ones? Did he win the last one? When he had to call me up, Vince? I'm trying to remember if he
Holy
actually
face, I can't remember.
No, he didn't.
I can't remember. I'm not going to make that call. Someone will let us know.
Let's fact check this. So, but yeah, that's how I'm going with that. Go ahead and introduce the next one while I fact check this one.
Steel Cage War Game. Well, War Games will be in a steel cage, obviously. Undisputed versus Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and War Raiders. Who do you got?
Do you have to ask?
I'm going with Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and War Raiders.
This is going to be our split because we agreed on everything else. Dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun.
Undisputed, don't let me down.
I just feel like Pete Dunne, and the titles are up, right?
No, they didn't make that announcement. I heard rumors that they were supposed to, and they never did.
Okay, so well then, I don't know. That was my reasoning as to why Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and War Raiders weren't going to lose, just because of that reason alone. But, okay.
So you're going to switch now?
Nope. I'm still going to go on a limb and say that they are going to win.
All right, more power to it. There's going to be a split.
Okay. Survivor Series.
Yeah, he did win.
So this is
he
his,
beat EC3.
So this is his big one. All right. Survivor Series predictions. The kickoff show is going to start off with the tag team 5 versus 5 Survivor Series elimination.
SmackDown. You?
SmackDown.
I don't trust Raw. Anyway.
I honestly think, in general, I think SmackDown is gonna
dominate?
Yeah.
Maybe the Colognes will be eliminated.
The Goons.
Colognes.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Main show: Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight title match. Who do you got?
As much as I love Mustafa Ali, I think Buddy's going to retain.
I feel the same way. He just can't win the big ones.
Mustafa?
Yeah.
This could be his big one.
So you gonna switch?
Nope. I already said Buddy just because I think he still needs. They gave freaking Cedric Alexander
the
a
longest
million.
run.
Yeah, so you might as well give this guy
a few more months.
Exactly.
Tag team title match: AOP versus the Bar.
I am gonna go with the Bar. I mean, sorry, AOP. AOP.
See my face? I was like,
AOP.
Really?
AOP.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Only because they got the Big Show. I'm kind of on the fence.
The Big Show. Okay.
Because it's like a disadvantage.
Well, it's the Big Slow.
Don't leave Big Show alone. He's nice, all right?
Well, that's what The Rock said. I'm not saying that I said
I'm
it.
going to go AOP. You just play safe.
Raw, the men's Raw team versus the men's SmackDown team. You have Strowman, Lashley, Ziggler, McIntyre, Balor versus Shane McMahon, The Miz, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Rey Mysterio. Who do you have?
Team Blue.
I am also going. Actually, I'm gonna go with Raw. Oh, okay.
Dum dum dum.
So I am going to go with Raw. You are going to SmackDown.
Boom.
Okay.
Women's Raw versus SmackDown. Natalya, Tamina, Nia Jax, Ruby Riott, and James versus Asuka. Mickey James.
Okay.
Versus, I was trying to be polite how they do basketball players. Call my last name.
Okay.
Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Deville, and Woman Vacant.
It's just that you didn't call Nia Jax or
It's
Ruby
quicker.
Riott.
It's quicker to say. Riot kind of threw me off because I'm thinking Riot Squad. So it kind of threw me. That's how I came back for it.
I am going to go with SmackDown.
Even with the Woman Vacant?
Yes, because the Raw women's team, no shade to them, is not that appealing. 1. 2, if I was part of actually, we'll talk about it later, why I would choose SmackDown and how this would be fire. So I'm going to go with SmackDown.
I'm going to go Raw.
Okay. Why?
We'll flip on that. Because just that lineup of Tamina, Nia Jax, and Ruby Riott, I can see they could do some damage in terms of against Asuka and Carmella, who they made. Asuka, Carmella, and Naomi, who they made like dancing fools. And then all they do is dance.
Okay.
Not because they're dancing as fools, but like Asuka dancing really.
Yeah.
Deville and the Woman Vacant. Woman Vacant's basically gonna be Mandy Rose, and I can see that riff continuing on.
Is it Mandy Rose?
Who do you think it's gonna be? You think?
Like I said, I will talk about it later. For the IC.
Oh, you holding out on me now?
Well, because we'll mention it when it comes up.
I'm saying to get it to me this earlier.
No, but sometimes you got to be spontaneous.
All right, cool.
Yeah, well.
All right.
So, mid-card titles. Yep. Up next, we have Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus the United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura.
I'm going to go Naka America.
I'm going to go with Rollins based off of a DQ. Okay.
I could see Dean costing him the match and not letting him win.
Exact. Well, I can see
not letting him win, like on some sneak, because Nakamura's gonna play to the ref, like, "Hey, pay attention to me."
I think Dean doesn't give a rat's behind.
I'm not saying Dean's purposely doing that, but Nakamura's gonna open it up for him to do it. Nakamura, you know how sneaky he is.
I think Dean is going to
just interrupt the match.
That's it.
All
right. The women's Raw champion versus
that's what I just said.
Not
singles woman.
Not SmackDown, but the Raw women's champion Ronda Rousey versus the Queen Charlotte Flair.
Where's my queen thing?
The Queen.
Ronda
Rousey. Okay, in the this
Universal Champion versus WWE Champion.
This is a toughie.
Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan.
This is a toughie.
I'm gonna go Suplex City.
Do I want to go with the easy pick? Because I just feel like, why is Daniel a heel? Why did we underestimate Daniel Bryan?
I didn't underestimate him.
In general, the public is underestimating. Hence the reason why Paul Heyman did that, right? Because
he wanted the weaker.
Exactly. So it's just like, is we really gonna do it that way? I could be wrong, but I'm gonna just go with DB. I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna go with DB. I'm just saying, it's not like Brock is undefeated.
Yeah, no. But can I just say real quick how worried I am for Daniel Bryan on a health tip? Did you see? We'll talk. I didn't put it in Raw, so we'll talk. Did you see what he did to the Singh brothers?
Yeah.
Why? Anyway, this is gonna be bad.
That's why I don't mess with your boy. But okay,
this is gonna be bad.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get into Raw.
Let's get to Raw.
I'm wearing Raw t-shirt, so I'll start off with Raw. What is it that we're gonna talk about?
It's up to you.
You have every segment.
No, I don't. I have 4 segments.
Okay, so you wanted to talk about every segment?
How's that every segment? That's 4 segments. It was more than 4 segments.
You wanted to talk about the opening segment?
I mean, only because, I just thought it was funny how they just gave Strowman a title shot without having to really earn it, just because he showed loyalty to Raw. I thought that was kind of weird.
I really don't have an opinion in regards to this anymore. Like I said, I think we talked about it before for Crown Jewel. And that's why I was actually surprised you have this here.
Yeah, I think it's more so I was mad how Strowman destroyed the tag team division.
Just for them to do the...
Right.
Again. Whatever. So what did you think about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose reasoning for attacking? I didn't get it. He didn't make sense to me.
I mean, I kind of get it.
What was he saying?
He basically said, he was so selfless that he didn't see everything that was going on around him, how everybody else is being selfish. And then saying that the Shield made him weaker. He thought they was making him stronger, but it was making him weaker.
Okay.
That's it. I heard it, but it's I was hoping for something more deeper than that.
Yeah, it was just all right, you attacked this man on that night. You got to give me something better than that. And I thought that was just pretty stupid.
Yeah, something you always thought I was an idiot. Something along those lines. Roman always saved you whenever we got into it, because that's what happened both times. The first time when Seth turned, Roman stopped it. And then this time, Roman stopped it again.
Yeah, you have a couple of weeks to actually think about what you need to say. So it's just
I mean, it was cool, though. I was kind of worried when he had the fire next to the car. I was like, it's kind of close.
Yeah, I mean, but it was controlled in a guy's hand. But yeah, you had every opportunity to just really, I think we're invested into it. But I've mentioned this time and time again, the women superstars are just here, and the men are just playing catch up. This
you know what it is? 1, poor writing. 2, a lot of injuries.
Right, but then for that matter, though, I just don't feel you know how they always talk about it, there's no one grasping the brass rings?
Except for Gordon. Sorry.
Gordon?
Yeah, Flip Gordon.
We're talking about WWE.
It was a side joke.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyway. Okay. Bring it back.
No, I'm here.
It's just bring it back.
Side joke.
Anyway, so on that note, I feel that you're giving the women opportunities to knocking it out the park. Where the men is just, I feel like they're very lax and very complacent in their roles and don't is willing to step it up. Yes, it's lack of writing, but at the same time, the women, when you're giving the women whatever, they're rolling with it. So this is just, and it's a prime example with this. This is a really good feud that we can be invested in, emotionally and just in general. I was looking at the TV like, okay.
Yeah, I was a big fan of it.
Yeah. And then on top of that, it was just like, okay, Seth has not mentioned anything about Shinsuke.
Oh yeah, he says he's not worried about Shinsuke. He's more worried about Dean. He said that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, so this is an afterthought. Like, just in general,
Right.
Shinsuke has just been an afterthought, and it's very unfortunate. So
It's sad.
it's just like
you gave him the title to do what?
So, but yeah.
I mean, the match is gonna be pretty good, but I'm not really looking like they're gonna be able to go all out like they can. Maybe.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey cuts a promo on Becky Lynch.
What did you think of this promo? It was back? Oh yeah, the Millennial Man thing. So what did you think of that?
First of all, remember how last week I said I didn't like how she was putting her down. For this week, she's like, I'm not trying to,
I
only
thought
accomplish
about that when you said that. Yeah.
But then you call her a millennial. Y'all the same age.
Right.
Like that. I'm like. Millennial.
I mean, that was everyone's thing, and then even Becky got at her about it too, whatever. So, like I'm gonna give an A for credit just because.
E for effort.
Yeah, E for effort, just because the attempt of utilizing social media.
Right.
Like, I just love that in general that they're using their platforms. That's the whole point. If you're trying to market yourself,
right.
To utilize every platform that you have.
Right.
And Ronda, like her feuds, I noticed are hotter like on social media. You know, because she's utilizing Twitter and Instagram. Like, I don't know if you saw her last couple of Instagram posts. I was like, oh, okay. Let me get the popcorn that we're waiting on you to bring.
It's on my son's school, all right? I don't control that. Okay. I just deliver.
So I just love that they're utilizing, like, it just seems authentic to me. But as soon as she gets in front of the camera, and it's just like, again, she's speaking to the camera, and it's not to someone, it just seems really forced and awkward.
You know what else is forced and awkward to me when she comes out?
What?
Is when she comes out, and like she comes out with the smiley face for the crowd, and when she gets in the ring, it's like the mean face. Like, it kind of.
Well, I don't think that's
weird to me. That
doesn't bother me. I just think, like, at the end of the day, she's a face. But when it's time to get to business, all bets are off. I'm serious. So I don't think that's awkward.
Man, I didn't like the way she interrupted Raw. But anyway, yeah, I don't follow her on Twitter, so I don't know. I follow Becky.
Well, you should you should take the chance and look at Ronda's Instagram and just see all the stuff that she's been posting. That's why I've been telling you don't see this with the Nikki Bella thing. Like, she posted some really good stuff, like heated stuff. Granted, Becky shuts her whole thing down, but she holds her own, especially on Instagram.
So we came to Raw closing movements. How do you feel about the Raw Women's team?
Do I mention it for now or SmackDown?
The Raw Women's team?
What I wanted to say in regards to my prediction. Should I mention, because there's a vacant
woman?
Yes.
Wait till SmackDown.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. We can do it when we talk about Becky and the replacement, because they're all in the ring.
Okay. So how I enjoyed it. It was, again, like I said before, the women, the men. Just saying.
I just didn't get the idea of putting Natalya and Ruby Riott on the same team.
I don't get it either, especially like it's 4 heels and one face. But I just, from the standpoint of Alexa Bliss, it's just like she doesn't mess with Bayley or Sasha, right?
Right.
In kayfabe, right? So it's just like,
why you pick Natalya? And then 2, why'd you leave Alicia Fox out?
She had to probably pick between her best friend. Like, she's a mean girl, right? She's gonna, can't make everyone happy, and she probably picked who she thought were gonna make her chances greater. And I felt the reason why Tamina and Nia were chosen because they're powerhouses.
I
right?
got that.
Yeah.
And then I shout out to her. I feel like that was a real moment when she told Nia, I wish we could work this out. I'm like, oh, that felt like a quick.
Well, they already, whatever. You didn't see that on Instagram when Natalia and Sasha were dancing and like Alexa was recording and Nia was there, like
I didn't see Nia there. I saw Alexa was recording. I didn't realize Nia was there.
yeah, they follow each other, you know.
Okay.
So.
But I just,
Nope. Yep. Well,
I was watching Total Divas this weekend. And it was like, yeah, because she used to be my best friend. I'm like, oh yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
And then after the choices was made, we seen the man.
Well, sir, before we get into that, let's talk about how Sasha Banks.
I thought he was gonna.
Sasha Banks. Well, we did that last week, and Bailey had a really, 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 really good match. No.
They did. They deserve so much more. It gets depressing talking about it now. To be honest with you, like, it's just like, I don't want to, like, because they deserve way better than this. I'm sorry. How do you get left off a Survivor Series card? Last time Bailey was on the pay-per-view was at WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken, at the Battle Royal. Last time Sasha was on the pay-per-view was Money in the Bank.
Well, they were both at Evolution.
No, I'm talking about, like, outside of Evolution because that was an all-women's pay-per-view. But, like, just on a regular pay-per-view, it's been since WrestleMania for Bailey and then Money in the Bank for Sasha.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I was trying to avoid it. Like, to me, it really makes me mad. Because it's like, they deserve
well,
so
I
much
mean,
better
and you're talking to someone who's a huge fan of Sasha and a fan of Bailey. But it's just look at Becky, and we're going to get into her right now, right? And how many times we were like, yo, I'm so stuffed. Anyway, Becky deserves a shot. Is what they're doing to her is not cool, blah, blah, blah. And now look at that. She got her shot, and she's killing it. And I just I think about it, and I know it's weird for me to say because you know how I am about this. It's just like, it's kind of like a cycle, right? Everyone at one point or the other are going to get their shot, and I just hope that it's sooner than later.
But Becky's in the land of opportunity.
What happened?
Becky's at the land of opportunity, which is SmackDown, where they actually rotate their girls in position. On Raw, there's no rotation.
Do they really rotate their? Okay, all right.
Like when
because somehow
Carmella had her time,
right? But
everybody had their time except for
right. But some way somehow Charlotte just
I know she
finds her way on top.
Yeah.
So yeah,
everybody else I'm talking about, like not Charlotte
because
everybody else.
Land of Opportunity. Then you have the Iconics, and then Absolution. Even though now it looks like Sonya and Mandy might be potentially having something, we'll see. You know. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, but look at Tamina. She's on Raw.
But that's because she's with Nia.
Okay, but that's an opportunity. And unfortunately, I don't wish injuries on anybody. But with Bliss kind of out the picture, it kind of gives other people. Well, but Ronda's there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like between Ronda, Nia, and Alexa Bliss, that's the 3 rotation.
Yeah.
Everybody else has got to play second fiddle. Like Amber Moon, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Tamina, like I said, Tamina's only there because of Nia. Sorry, I love Tamina, I do. But
well, good. I mean,
it's good. It's good work
whatever it needed for her to have a moment, that's fine. I don't care. Or I'm happy for her. But no, I get it, and I feel like this opportunity will come sooner or later. I don't know. I might sound like the naive fan, but I feel like it's gonna happen, and like it's so much that we can do, right? Like you said, it's depressing to know that damn your favorite, who's probably the best women's wrestler, is not getting her time. But it's just like, are we gonna keep harping about it, or just right now enjoy what we're getting with Becky Lynch, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't really want to mention the match
but it was a good match.
It was a good match.
So
it was a good match, but it led to nothing. Like it was just a waste, in my opinion, because it didn't. And it came out to Ruby Riott interrupting, and the spotlight went right back to Alexa. Like, you thought you girls would be on my team? Like, it went right back to...
And you know what's funny? I don't know if you saw this tweet, WWE. They said something. It looks like Sasha and Bailey, they at them, put their all in for nothing, blah, 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 insinuating whatever. And I'm like, well, imagine you not putting your... Like, not putting your all is acceptable. Like, what? Like, why wouldn't they put their all regardless of the outcome? But, whatever. Anyway, but...
Back to the man.
The man...
Came... You see the camera rush backstage?
But everything was perfect from that. After, whatever, Sasha and Bailey getting beat up, just the cut from with the camera, and then you
Right.
just and it was like it wasn't perfect. It was just like it looked like someone was rushing in to
Right.
see what happened. It just reminded me of Attitude Era. Becky 316, man.
And I just love the line I posted up on our Instagram story. Our Instagram board was, "Everybody's tough until the man come around." I was
That's
like,
what she said. She said it a couple of times.
chills, like,
Yo, but doesn't she? You know how you kept saying with KO was like kind of like that anti-hero
Right.
type. That's Becky.
Yeah.
Not scratch KO out.
This
This
could still
is
be KO if they
No.
give it to him.
no. Becky's it. No, Becky. That's Becky. Becky. That's
Becky's on SmackDown. He could be it on Raw.
Nah.
Like,
Nah, you can't have you can't have you didn't have two Austins in the Attitude Era. This Becky doesn't right now. That doesn't even compare because you get that impression of him, but Becky is that. Everything that you just saw at the end of Raw after getting knocked the F out and her standing there still strong, bleeding like that. That was that Becky 316.
so allegedly, when she got out the ring, they was trying to tell her to stay down, and she said no and grabbed the chair. The chair thing was planned. She did that on her own.
Becky Balboa, man.
Like, it was just
Someone
like,
said she kept going like Rocky.
yeah,
Becky
Yeah,
Balboa.
that blood added to it. Unfortunately, it hurt us at the end, but it kind of was worth it.
It was worth it, right?
Kinda
Because
worth
you know
it.
what I mean. So it's just like sometimes in your career you gotta do something drastic, and that was that. Like obviously she'll recover from that, and she
Right.
has to miss this opportunity, but like there's a bigger opportunity, right?
Right.
So
And I also like how the entire SmackDown came behind her, including Charlotte. And kind of sidebar, it kind of felt like the Four Horsemen came to save Four Horsewomen.
because they didn't know they ain't attacked
Right.
Sasha
and
and
Bailey
Bailey.
were just chilling. But
Yeah.
it's more so like it happened after they attacked them. So it was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're attacking our friends?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of felt that way a little
I
bit.
know.
a
We're
little
going to
bit.
get that storyline soon where
A
they stick
little
together.
bit.
We're going to get there.
You seen the video of Bailey get kind of attacked, but Sasha's
Sasha,
just chilling. She's
She was
just
slumped.
chilling, like, yep. What's
Nah,
happening?
right. I
Nope,
am not.
alright.
I am not helping nobody.
I'm not on this team.
Right. But like I said, Becky is the man. Becky 316. I need a shirt like that. Becky 316.
I'm pretty sure somebody has it out already.
WWE shop.
No,
WWE shop.
shop had it something else. They said Becky 11, something like that. Whatever the date was on Monday.
Okay.
They have that, like Becky 11 something. I'm like, that's tough. That might be able to go. It's like 11, 12 or something like that.
I like that.
Becky 11, 12.
Yeah, she's. I'm truly happy for her because anyone who's followed me and has known I've always been a Becky
Yeah.
supporter and just felt like, damn, I got to give her shot.
Yep.
And like I said last week, I didn't necessarily needed her to be a heel, but just I felt like if you gave her the right storyline and opportunity, and I even think that I said something along the lines of being in the shadow of this girl, whatever, but was I wrong? I didn't know.
What shadow?
I didn't know I needed.
You can't have
heel.
shadow in the light.
I-
When you shining, there ain't no shadow.
I didn't know I needed heel Becky like this.
So what would you grade Raw?
Just, I mean, we were blinded by the fact that the main event was fire. And I made a mistake when I was trying to vote. I was like, damn it. I messed up because when you mess up the
Right.
vote,
You can't, you're done.
that's it. And it kind of messes with the rest of the grade. But I'm going to go with, let's say a B.
I kind of want to give it an A minus, as the people did right here. I want to give it an A minus, but the A minus wasn't earned by Raw.
Very true.
it was earned by. It's not only Becky. It was just
Everybody.
how everybody was in that ring. It was just like you believed it. Like they came out there together. Like
Very true. That's very true. SmackDown did that, and that's why I said I can't give that a really, really good grade just because the whole show was boring,
it was.
right? Besides, like I said, Sasha and Bailey's match. Imagine that didn't get interfered by the girls.
Right.
That would have been like,
Yeah.
because you saw the crowd getting into it and what have you.
Right, and you have like, you would have had a definite winner.
Right.
It would have caused a riffle.
And my reasoning as to why I wasn't annoyed with that, because had, let's say, Sasha lost, right? I wouldn't have been mad because, like you said, that would have caused
The rift.
exactly between the two.
But they want that tag team titles.
But when are they doing it?
I think it's after this. They're gonna probably announce it. Where this is my prediction. We're running off real quick. My prediction is that the final's gonna happen at TLC with the first ever women's tag team TLC for the titles.
All right, we'll see. Well, let's get into your show.
Let's go into my show. They opened up with AJ talking his smack about Brock. We got Paul Heyman.
So he basically started. He manipulated the situation, stirred the pot.
Paul Heyman pulled the move where he didn't want Brock to face AJ.
Right. So I'm intrigued why they decided to go that route.
I figured it out. Kind of what we talked about last week is like the same reason why they didn't want AJ versus Roman. This is what happened with my hands are free. You don't want me to.
Okay.
But yeah, same thing. The reason why they didn't want AJ versus AJ versus Roman, because it's like AJ loses again. It's not gonna make sense. And then two, you want to hurt your money man with Brock. Like Brock's supposed to be this beast that somebody that you're gonna have eventually conquer. So it's kind of like, all right, let's give them the Daniel Bryan versus Brock that people wanted last time. Because if Daniel Bryan loses, he's not gonna really get hurt by it because he won the title by cheating anyway.
Well, but he does get hurt because now he's a heel.
Well, he's good as a heel, so I'm
not. But that's not what I'm saying though. So now you made him cheat to win, and then he got the title. Now he just lost. I think that does make him look weak.
Nah, not necessarily. Because when it comes to heels, sometimes when they take L's like this, like when there's nothing on the line, it's easier for them to come back from. Whereas it's a face.
No, I don't think so.
Just think.
I don't think so. Just the way that turn happened and what have you. Now, granted, if he was still a face and he won the title as a face and he faced Brock and he lost, then yeah, he's Daniel Bryan. He's a face. He's supposed to overcome adversity. Now you made him like that was a bold move that he did, right? Yeah. And then stomped out AJ, like, messed him up. So it's just like,
let's go back. Okay. So this goes to my second theory. Maybe AJ just needs some time off. Because he's been on for a very, very long time. That could
be another thing, just because I read somewhere that, because did you see? Oh, you know what? Damn, I just realized these points have to be
updated.
Yeah, because I just realized
the title switch.
No, because of Mixed Match Challenge. Did you watch it?
No.
So Jeff Hardy replaced AJ. So it was Jeff and Charlotte who actually won as well. So those points might be wrong, guys.
We gotta do an update.
Okay.
But yeah, so I kind of think that it's kind of like he's just tired.
Yeah, and they said that the reason why I think that he got replaced was because he was quote unquote injured from the match between AJ.
That's why that viciousness of his.
But I also felt like the reason why they did that too was because of the whole situation with Becky and Ronda. I think that had a play into it.
How so?
I don't know. I was reasoning to myself that now, since we don't have the marquee match, we got to make drastic changes with AJ and Brock and have Daniel instead. That was my reasoning. I don't know, but I just felt like that had a play into it.
So since we took out two segments at once, let's go to the next segment. How did you feel how Becky chose her replacement?
I didn't like that, just because. I mean, I liked it except for the fact that she hugged Charlotte. Just you could have told her I choose you and kept it moving. But to hug for what?
I think that was a Becky call. I don't think anybody expected that because even when she talked to Charlotte, it was kind of like covered. And when she saw the camera come around, she pushed her off.
Yeah.
So I think it was more of a Becky call than anything. Like she's really you could tell Becky was really upset that she wasn't able to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that you could see like they were upset for her. So yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's just one of those things where she's like, I'm glad it's you, like kind of thing, like yo, hold me down for this match, kind of thing.
I get it, but I still didn't like it.
I know.
It's
real though.
It is real, but it just has as hot and like fiery she was on Monday, and she was still talking her stuff on Tuesday. Like, so she went out like a champ, and I'm glad she didn't have to drop the belt. I mean, but that's still to be seen.
I don't think I'll make her drop the belt.
Well, I don't know if you have in the hot topics, but we'll discuss that a little bit later as to why I think eventually she would. But what I was gonna say in regards to the vacant spot now that Charlotte is going to face Ronda, if I was party creative, what I would do is, obviously it's Sasha and Bailey, right? But you screwed me over, so now I'm gonna help SmackDown defeat Raw, and have Sasha come over as like team captain or what have you, and lead SmackDown against Raw.
But that would mean that Sasha's going to SmackDown. They're not doing that.
I understand they're not gonna do that. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I would do if I was part of creative. It just makes that much sense because it doesn't. Why did you Okay, they got beat down and now they're not gonna do anything. Like they're not gonna show up at Survivor Series in any type of way. So it's just like that's the perfect thing. Like what? Yeah, you know what I mean. And they didn't help when even though they were they was beat and battered down and what have you, but like they didn't help Raw when they invaded. Right. So I was just like, that makes perfect sense. Just to have Sasha and Bailey help out SmackDown, in my opinion. Right. Then that's where you get all the 4 horsewomen on the same brand too.
Maybe it's a great way to ride it over. That would be a smart way to ride it over. But
hire me.
Something tells me it's gonna be Mandy Rose.
I was thinking either that or even Nikki Bella because I feel like she's doing the whole free agent thing.
No, I don't think Nikki. I think they went back to taking time off.
What I'm just saying, especially if they didn't decide to use Mandy, right? She's like someone that you can always call. Like, listen, we need you to do this, and she's more than willing to help. Right. So yeah.
So how would you grade SmackDown?
It was a little boring for me too.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, for me it was.
You didn't like the Jeff versus Almas match? The Miz versus Ray?
It was cool. It was all right. Nothing really was like, oh my God, for me. Even the AJ and Daniel Bryan match was like, okay.
They made that call that night, and I could tell because they were calling very loud in the ring. Like they didn't have no time to really prepare.
Why not? That's why I told you. Remember, I told you I got spoilers. That was the spoiler that
they was gonna make it a title match.
Uh-huh. And that DB was gonna win. So yeah. So I was just like,
what would you grade it?
Probably. What did I say for Raw? Like a B.
Yep.
Well, I'll give it a B plus. It was better than Raw. So it's not a bad rating, but it wasn't like an A for me.
Yeah, I'll follow that B plus. Only because I was kind of expecting something from Raw to happen and nothing happened.
Yeah, like Raw.
Raw looking like punks right now.
No, but yeah, like what was nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
Remember, that was one of the things I wanted was the invasion. So when I seen SmackDown, I was like, yes.
Yeah, so
this is what I wanted.
And then you were supposed to retaliate, but whatever.
The people gave it a A minus.
Okay, so basically the people were happy with Raw and SmackDown.
205 Live. It was a pretty decent match between Leo Rush and Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
NXT, anything stood out to you?
Bianca Belair and Mia Yim. That was a really good match.
Yep. So, poll question of the week. Name 2 superstars you would send back to NXT.
Who did I tell you? Finn Balor and...
You gave me like 3 or 4.
I gave you Finn 4. Balor, Ember Moon, or Shinsuke.
And Sasha.
Well, you told me to add another person.
Right, so pick 2.
Okay, so Finn Balor and Shinsuke.
I would go Ascension and Revival.
Okay, those are good choices.
Boost back up the tag team division and let them gain some credibility again.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially the same thing with Finn and Shinsuke, right? I mean Finn and Shinsuke are popular superstars, but they just wasted talent at this particular moment. Reason why I chose Sasha for obvious reasons. Yeah, she's had major success on the main roster, but she hasn't. That's what I'm saying. It hasn't been like, yeah, like we see with Becky and how we see with Charlotte and Alexa and even Nia to a certain extent. So I know. I know. Don't worry about
the people picked the same thing. They picked a lot of Revival, Ascensions.
I saw that. I saw a lot more tag teams. Yeah, which is I agree with because the tag team, like this match for the
War Games.
No, not the War Games. The match between
AOP and
no, between the 5-on-5 for the teams.
Oh, Raw and SmackDown.
Yes, it doesn't. Nothing about that seems like exciting to me. Anyway, hot topics.
Hot topics. Raw is now ending at 11 p.m. on the dot. No more extra 15 minutes.
Wow.
According to Fightful, well, it's because of a new directive at USA Network.
Okay.
So that's why it seemed kind of rushed on Raw this past week.
I didn't think it was rushed. I thought
you
it
had
was
3 segments in the first out. Like they put 3 segments together in the first opening.
Oh.
Like I know you probably didn't, like the
Yeah.
women's thing happened, the Braun thing happened, and then the Battle Royal.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of people have been saying let's go back down to 2 hours, which I'm fine with actually 3 hours, but I don't mind as long as it makes sense.
I feel like this is USA being petty because they're going to Fox.
Hey.
So, according to PW Insider, the reason why Braun didn't win the title, the Universal title, at Crown Jewel is because he has some backstage heat.
What?
Because he's his own enemy.
Wow.
That he's not, he's showing up late, he's leaving early. Basically, they're trying to look for him to be a locker room leader,
Right.
and he's not being that. So, that's the reason why he didn't win the title of the Crown Jewel.
Right.
So, there you go. You have your answer. I know you was wondering, like, why they put it back on Brock. They feel like Braun is not ready.
Yet they're still giving him another title shot?
Exactly.
So,
like, come on.
I don't buy that excuse. But go ahead.
So going up next is about Alexa Bliss. Seeing that she has another concussion, they're not sure how long this is going to be because apparently it's multiple back-to-back concussions. So
well, she doesn't have another concussion.
Well, she's off.
Recovering from the previous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, like, since it's been so many in a short time, they're afraid to clear her so soon. So they're thinking about putting her in an authority role.
Yeah.
So maybe something to help out Baron Corbin. And I don't know, if Kurt Angle doesn't come back, maybe
we see General Manager Alexa Bliss.
How you feel about that?
I could see her playing that, but she's pretty young. We don't want to think that way. So hopefully she can recover that way. Again, she's not our favorite, but she's a young talent and popular superstar.
Yeah.
Hopefully she still has some shelf life to her.
And there was rumors going around that she was being forced to retire. She quickly shut it down. Like, yeah, I'm not going nowhere.
Right. So, shout out to her.
So let's change up. Not going into independent.
See, I was nice.
Yeah. Going into independent scenes, the Elite had some things to say about the Bullet Club. Cody Rhodes talked about how he was reluctant to join them at first because they're already hot. Like, who am I? He felt like he was a character because Kenny Omega is known as the best in the world kind of situation. Buck was known as the best tag team, everything wrestling related. He felt like he was just coming off as a character. So he was kind of like reluctant to join them at first. But then he fits pretty well, no? He's been holding his own with them, right? Kenny Omega states that, they're still supporting the BCOGs. They just had different plans. They want to do, like, being elite on YouTube and the gaming stuff they did with the New Day and stuff like that. But BCOGs just want to stick to wrestling and not do anything outside of New Japan like that.
Yeah.
So that's why. But it was an interesting thing to see that Matt Jackson said that they don't earn a buck off these Bullet Club shirts. See what I did there?
You don't use my favorite one. You never use it.
Which one?
This one. Where is it? Where is it?
You looking for the drum roll?
No, the laughter.
The crowd laugh?
Yeah. It reminds me of like 90s sitcoms.
Like Seinfeld?
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently they don't make $1 off of those Bullet Club t-shirts, which is one of the reasons why there's going to be an Elite. So they could create their own team shirts and earn some money for their family.
Good for them.
Want to take the next one? Oh, you know about the Cody injury?
I heard that he got injured.
Yeah, he hurt his knee while teasing to toss his T-shirt. So think of like...
That's crazy.
Like, and he went to get checked out, and his meniscus tear.
Damn.
And he requires a scope, but he says MCL, PCL, ACL are all intact. He'll be good for ROH Final Battle and Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Okay.
So he's pretty
crazy.
He's pretty good with that.
Yeah. A meniscus tear is typically pretty minor procedure. Like,
right.
So that's good. If he has to be injured, that's kind of good.
How would you like Kim Kardashians versus Bella Twins?
I don't care. What is this about?
Apparently, they asked Nikki who she would like to face, and she said it would be nice to have the Kardashians versus Bella twins.
So just my thing is, she had like last week there was an issue in regards to like the whole like divas thing and not giving them credit and what have you. But when you say stuff like that, it's like, how do you become, credible?
Like,
But whatever. I guess you had to put them over as People's Choice Awards. You gotta look, what's popular, whatever. I don't know. Okay.
Do you want that match?
No. Anyway, prize for Mixed Match Challenge winners. The winners for that will get the 30th spot in the Royal Rumble. That's dope. Where did you read that from?
From 411.
Nice. They will also win all expense paid vacant. Good for them.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And when I looked at the results, and seeing that AJ and Charlotte are 3-0, and then Braun and Ember is like 3-0.
Of course.
It's like, because it's still kind of.
Of course. Okay, so we're missing a couple
of things you want to talk about.
Yeah, so I'll bring them up here.
No problem.
Let's see what we have here. So you remember when we were talking about Drew McIntyre and how he's not ready?
Yeah.
So apparently, according to Dave Mesler, Drew is going to get a push very, very, very soon.
Yeah, probably in the top of next year.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's funny that you were saying he's not ready, and I had a lot of people say, well, I guess Blue has missed his first run in regards to having championships and just in general him not being ready. And I'm like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but when I say he's not ready, it's like, don't give him the title next week. Let the build-up happen. Like, he's building himself right now. Just like how he took out Kurt Angle. That was the idea about Kurt Angle and Vince. Let him continue to build himself. I don't mind it next year. Like, to start off next year, that's fine.
I don't think they were going to give him the title next week. But I believe that for Crown Jewel, absolutely. I think he should have been included into that match just because, one, it was already going to be a triple threat match. Two, the way he attacked Braun or whatever, and like you said, that whole thing he did with Kurt Angle, that just makes him more plausible to be in that match. And just he was sprinkled in that storyline in general.
No, but when I say he's not ready, I'm saying he's not ready to be the champion.
I understand. Right, but so then you would have been fine with him being in the match.
Yeah, because he had beef.
So that's what I was saying. That's what I wasn't saying. I said contender. I didn't say he had to win, but contender means that you're in that match.
Right, but when somebody says contender, in my opinion, it's like, all right, he's next. He could have the title right now. He'll be good.
No, what's a number one contender? That means you're in a match.
I get what contender is, but when you're saying like he's ready now. He's not ready now to be champion. That's what I kept saying. Like, he's not ready to be now to be champion.
I wasn't telling you that. I was telling you he
some
was
people
contender.
because when you say, I heard like because other people say like, yeah, just give him the title. No, let this build up happen. Like, don't rush it. That's not always been our problem.
Well, yeah. So it looks like in the beginning, I believe of next year, you see more of for a top run.
If Drew beats Brock, that's believable to me. If you keep this build up going. By the way, I thought it was kind of weird that Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin was like the same height. I was like, I thought Drew was a little bit taller than that. And same thing with Braun too.
Yeah, your boy is pretty beast mode. I know I had more stuff here. I had it. Yes.
Shout out to the Elite. They got a new shirt dropping on Tuesday.
You gonna get that for me?
Sure. I'll get it for you.
Oh. Durf. So apparently, right, I read earlier this week that Becky Lynch is only supposed to be a transitional champion. But that has changed. Now it looks like that they're looking to have Becky versus Ronda at WrestleMania instead of Ronda versus Charlotte.
So that means,
and not only that, possibly main eventing WrestleMania. That's crazy. In New York, crazy.
So that means that Becky would have to lose the title.
And that's what I was mentioning earlier.
Rumble.
Yep. So remember when you said like about her dropping it, instead of her actually losing, but having her have to drop it because of the concussions or she's still recovering, it still makes her leaves her strong.
Right.
And have her as a surprise entrance at Royal Rumble. crowd will go nuts, and she wins it all on some Becky 316, Becky
11-12.
Becky Cold Lynch Austin, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was trying to find something, but yeah, and then have her win it all. I could see it.
You're giving WWE too much credit for logic.
I mean, but like,
no, don't get me wrong. It's a dope idea. Like, these ideas are dope, but WWE, I don't want to get too much hope in them and their writing abilities at all times.
I'm just saying.
I know.
If that's the where they're trying to go with that,
that will be crazy if they have Ronda versus Becky for Mania, because now they see the money behind it.
You know, I didn't mention this the other week, but did you know Ronda Rousey? You know who she said she wanted to face? I don't know if we spoke about that.
No, we talked about it on the side. We didn't talk about it on the show.
Okay, so yeah, so Ronda Rousey says she wanted to face who?
Boss time!
Sasha Banks.
That's her dream match.
That's her dream match. Just saying, but okay. That's all I had to say in regards to that.
All right, continuing in the women's, Nia Jax got some heat with the SmackDown girls.
You think?
Like, they're really upset that she hit Becky the way she did. And I'm pretty sure you saw the video because we posted it on our Instagram story. What did you think about the hit?
Well, a lot of people were like hitting me up like, oh, you guys have to talk about this. It's unacceptable with Nia. You know, it's too many people she's injuring. And I get it. It is true. Like, in a short span of time, she's injured quite a few people, you know? And I just don't understand. And, you know, stuff happens, but it was a closed fist. And I'm like, I don't know if maybe it was the heat of the moment type thing. I really don't know. But some people thought it was like on purpose. I'm like, nah, it can't be on purpose. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no reason for her to wanting to hurt Becky. Right? That I can think of. But you just have to be a little bit more careful. And I'm not going to say, oh, I know everything. Because I'm not a wrestler. I'm not in their shoes. Right? But that was a close fist.
Yeah, the thing is, when it first happened, I kind of saw it when it was happening on Raw. I seen something go forward, and then I seen Becky on the ground. I'm like, oh, crap. Something didn't go right. Because she was kind of there for a minute. Yeah. And then I thought it was an elbow. I thought it was a back elbow because I know it was near Nia. Yeah. So I thought it was Nia was like a back elbow, like a mistake kind of thing. Like trying to turn.
She went for it.
And then I seen the other angle. I was like, dang. Like, she really put.
And then, like, she was profusively, like, bleeding. Like, and you could see her nose, like, swell up.
And then when she was on top of the stairs, her nose was actually shifted to the one side.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it was like under her eye. Like, I'm like, oh, my God, you're still going.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
war paint.
Irish war paint.
This is weird. Fictional.
But, like, you had to really put some force behind that for her to shift her whole thing.
Right. And cut your hand.
And cut her hand. Like, it has to be a heat of a moment type thing. But, you know, again, it just goes back down to you got to protect your coworkers, right?
And this is what happened. Because I don't know if everybody remembers this. When Nia first got called up, everybody said it was too soon. Yeah. And ever since then, it's been speed bumps of injuries. Yeah. I like Nia. So I'm not like, you know, trying to go down on her, like, you know, down her down, like beat her down. But you got to be more careful, or you got to go back. Like, you got to go back to training.
It goes back down. It goes back,
to basics.
Goes back to last year when she separated Bailey's shoulder.
Right. And then before that, it was who was it? She heard somebody else before that.
And then more recently, before Becky, it was Zelina with the concussion.
Right.
Throwing her, what have you. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, again, I'm not gonna sit there and bash her because accidents happen, but that wasn't pretty. Now we're missing out on a really, really.
She hurt them.
Yeah.
Like, big time.
Yeah.
The thing is she gonna get reprimanded for this? Of course not, because her family ties. That's how people feel.
Yeah.
But my thing is, do you start reprimanding people for making these kind of injuries when it's becoming this consistent with Seth, with Nia, with, you know, Ronda? Like, how do you...
Seth.
Yeah, Seth, when he's injured Finn, he's injured Sting, he's injured a few other people. Like it's become, people mention Seth in that category.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? So this leads up to my debate question. Do you feel that the current schedule for the WWE superstars contribute to the amount of wrestlers currently out injured.
I think so. I think fatigue can play a role into that, but I also feel like it's just kind of going back to basics. Like, again, accidents are gonna happen. Someone's gonna land wrong. You're gonna not complete a move a certain way.
Right.
But stuff like that, like a closed fist punch in professional wrestling, like that shouldn't have ever happened.
Right.
You know, and I don't know if should she get reprimanded in a sense, like maybe I guess it happens too often.
Right.
Right, then I guess maybe something needs to be said, but because then I'm just thinking about like even like with Sasha, right? The whole thing with Paige, right? Do you reprimand her?
No, because that wasn't. It wasn't so much what she did; it was how Paige already was.
Exactly.
So that's the difference.
But people won't think that, right? A lot of people be like, now she injured her, blah blah blah. She's not safe to work with. You know what I mean?
Right.
You a lot of people can look at both sides and say, yeah, well, it was just the heat of the moment type thing, or yeah, she's a little too aggressive and what have you, and you know.
But and this goes back to what I said. They need seasons or some kind of schedule where these people are not working so hard.
Yeah.
Because it's, in my opinion, I do think it plays into it because that's like a brain fart.
Yeah.
Kind of situation. If you notice, most of these people that's like consistently hurting people, like outside of Brie, are the people that you work the most. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you work Nia that much?
Yeah, she's been pushed for. She's been.
I mean, but
she hasn't been off like TV very long. Outside when she got hurt.
Yeah, she was. What was the last match between her and Bliss?
That was this year.
Correct. When was that match? It was after Money in the Bank, and it was before SummerSlam. It was a pay-per-view there.
What was that? I can't remember that.
Whatever. Then she was gone for, and then when did she come back?
She came back like 2 months ago. Didn't she come back right after SummerSlam? She came back right after SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, she had quite a couple of weeks off, regardless.
Yeah, but my thing is that we have to remember that these people also do house shows. You know what I'm saying? And they'll also make them do public stuff.
Correct, but you're saying from the standpoint that she's overworked. For that matter, you can say the same thing about Sasha. You can say the same thing about Bayley. You can say the same thing about Bliss. Like, I think they're a little bit. They're worked harder than Nia is.
Yeah, I agree to that point. So do you don't think that their work schedule paid a contribution to it in terms of the person that's messing up as opposed to those that's arguing?
No, I because it's just like the more you work, I think that gets rid of your ring rust. In my opinion, it's kind of like any a sport, like watching basketball. You know, like they're gonna keep playing every game. The more you play, the more you get better. I truly think it's if someone is having issues and might be injuring someone often, then they have to go back to basics. It's kind of like, again, like every time if whoever listens or watches to the show, I say, NXT reminds me of the minor leagues, right? In baseball, if someone's not hitting or someone got injured and they're recovering or what have you, what do? You send them to AAA and they do a couple of rehab games or what have you, or just fix whatever mechanics that need to be fixed.
Right.
I feel that going to NXT or at least the Performance Center and getting that additional help, just to, like you said, like, you know, even if it's just like a mental thing,
right,
to help them get over that hump. And granted, again, I'm not saying that any superstar cause, like for example, I'm not saying Nia causes all injuries or what have you. No. Injuries are just gonna happen, right? But if it's someone that may be consistently
frequent in it,
hurting someone, then maybe they need to go. Even if they'll be back on the next Raw, but even it's just okay, what is it that you're not doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
And go from there. So I don't necessarily think it's their schedule.
No.
Oh, because there's plenty of wrestlers that that doesn't happen to.
But also not outside of like wrestler. I'm talking about in terms of like how Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and those kind of wrestlers where it's like how did that person get injured at the house show, like kind of weird step or something like that.
But
like
it just
Cody Rhodes, like how his faking a thing and it's kind of like a freak accident.
But it's sometimes things are freak accidents, right? You can't really stop something from happening, unfortunately. You know, granted, maybe the body is a little worn or what have you, but a wrong move or just maybe it was just bound to happen, right?
Yeah,
because even if you took, okay, so let's say you lessen their schedule, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and then they get back into it. Who's not to say that you know, that wear and tear is not going to happen again, and then an injury happens? You just don't know.
Well, that's why I think that it should just because how long are they on road for in a year? Like 250 days or something like that. I just think that it should be scaled back a little bit.
I'm not telling you it shouldn't.
Right.
I'm not saying they should work Sunday through Saturday, but what I'm saying is it doesn't. I don't necessarily think a schedule contributes to an injury. It could, but you know, I'm not a doctor. It could be a lot of things. Just a wrong turn, you land wrong, and you just get injured. It's like numerous of factors. You can't pinpoint it on one thing and be like, "Yep, that's the reason why."
I'm not trying to pinpoint it on the schedule. I'm just saying it might play a factor into it. Because just like how Sasha, she should start having headaches,
right?
And just like, you know, because think about it this way, you're taking bumps from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that these superstar
body.
wrestlers, like this, like, yeah, it's scripted, but it's real.
Right.
Like the wear and tear that they put on their bodies constantly is not, you know, recognized often. Like,
it's like
when
miles
you really,
on the car.
yeah, like when you really look at it, it's just like, damn, they really go all out to entertain us. So,
all right, so that's our show. I'm about to head and get on this plane to LA.
well, you're not about to get on this plane right now because it's not like it's waiting for you.
Yeah, but you know, it kind of is because by the time this comes out, I'll be in LA.
Will I be in LA? That's the
Dum
real question.
dum dum. Birdman hand rub.
There you go.
If you haven't already,
We didn't argue. I wanted to argue.
There's nothing to really argue about.
Yes, well, people liked when we argued.
SmackDown.
Raw.
SmackDown.
I'm not really raw right now. Okay.
So if you haven't already, make sure you click on the link, WWE Shop, in our bios and in our description to purchase your next merchandise. It's about to be winter time, so you can get some
About
hoodies.
to be. It's cold. It's supposed to snow today.
I know, but it's not. It's still like fall.
Yeah, well, you doing that on purpose.
I like the
Anyway, follow us at the Mixed Tag Show or follow us at our personals at
Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE, or at
Blue Magic Grind, spelled as it sound. Wish that man a safe trip because, again, he is going to LA. You going to take your SmackDown shirt?
Yes, I will be representing SmackDown this weekend after Undisputed Era.
You going to take your Undisputed
Of course.
Era hoodie?
Yes.
You're going to wear a hoodie in LA.
No, it's for the flight.
So what are you going to wear at NXT? The shirt?
Yeah, probably the shirt. One of the 3 shirts that I have.
Okay. Well,
Depends. I talk to the guys and see where we're going.
shout out to the WWE shop for lacing Blue up so he can look fly. Well, shout out to Jenna, too, for actually getting this lad his SmackDown shirt.
Gracias.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else?
Nope. And on that note, I bid you adieu. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
It's the Mixed Tag Show.
Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna and Blue.